Hi dear students, today let us discuss about the topic Mendel's law. Gregor Johann Mendel, who is called as the father of modern genetics, and he was actually a monk, that is the priest in the Augustine monastery at Brunn in Austria, and he was born on 22nd July 1822 in Austria. Actually, he belonged to a poor gardener family, and his observations and the experiments conducted nearly for the 7 years from the 1857 to 1864, and he concluded many more observations and which laid the foundation for the modern genetics and the heredity. So his breeding experiments was conducted in the plant Pisum sativum, which is commonly called as garden pea, and all his observations are called as totally, that is Mendelian's principle. The three main Mendelian's principles are called as the first law, it is called as law of dominance, and then second law, it is called as law of segregation, and the third law, it is called as law of independent assortment. Now let us see the three laws one by one. Now let us discuss the Mendel's first law, which is called as law of dominance. Before entering into the law, now you have to know what you mean by dominance. So the character which represent itself in a hybrid, it is called as the dominant character, and its contrasting word, it is called as the recessive character. So the character which fails to represent itself in the hybrid, it is called as the recessive character. You can see now these terms, what do you mean by dominant and what do you mean by recessive and what do you mean by hybrid. Mendel explained his first law with an example of monohybrid cross. So what do you mean by monohybrid cross? The cross between the parents which they differ in only in one pair of contrasting character, that is called as the monohybrid cross. Now let us see the diagrammatic representation of this monohybrid cross. And the Mendel, and he selected the pure tall plant and then pure dwarf plant. Dwarf means that is the short plants. From these terms you can see these two are the contrasting character, that is the tall, and its opposite character it is called as the short. So the cross between these two contrasting character of the parent, it is called as the monohybrid cross. And here you can see the term phenotype. What do you mean by phenotype? That is the external appearance of any living organism, whatever maybe, it may be a plant or maybe an animal or the human being. So the external appearance, it is called as the phenotype. Now you can see the second term, that is the genotype. Genotype means that is the genetic constitution of that particular character. You can see here that is the dominancy and the dominancy. It is the genetic constitution of this phenotype, that is a pure tall, and here that is the recessivity, and then recessivity, it is the genetic constitution of these pure dwarf plants. So Mendel crossed these two contrasting parents, and now they are called as the parent generation or as the P generation. And here now you can see the term gametes. So here that is in this genotype of the parent, it is in the diploid condition, but when you see the gamete, it is in the haploid conditions. You know very well that is for any character, the genes they are present in a pair condition, that is the in the diploid condition in our somatic cells, and due to the process of the meiosis, they segregate itself into that is individual genes, they enter into the different gametes. So one from here, that is in these two genes, and one enter into the one gamete and then another gene enter into the another gamete. So in all the living organisms, that is the gamete, the genes are present in the gametes in the haploid condition only. So in the pair of dominancy, only one dominancy enters into one gamete, and in the pair of the recessivity, one recessivity enter into the one gamete, and the another dominancy enter into the different gamete, and the another recessivity enter into the different gamete. So due to the self-pollination, so you know very well about the self-pollination, and so it results in the seed formation. So Mendel collected the seeds from this plant, and he he sown in the land. After that is some days, he observed that the plants which are grown from these seeds all are in the tall, and he couldn't see even that is a short plant. So from this experiment, Mendel concluded that is the tall, it is the dominant character, and the dwarf, it is the recessive character. So the character which represent itself in the hybrid. What do you mean by hybrid means? That is this plant, it results from the cross of the two contrasting character of the parent. So this F1 generation or the first filial generation, it is called as the hybrid, and all these plants were tall. So Mendel concluded the tall, it is the dominant character, and the dwarf, it is as the recessive character. Before entering into the Mendel's second law, now let us see the 7 traits which were studied by Mendel in his experimental plant Weissum sativum in his 7 years research. The 7 traits studied by Mendel in Weissum sativum are: the first one stem length, second one flower position, and then pod shape, pod color, seed shape, seed coat color, and cotyledon color. And due to his experiment, he observed that is the tall, it is the dominant character, and the dwarf, it is the recessive character. In the flower position, the axial flower position, it is the dominant one, and the terminal position, it is the recessive character. And when you come to the pod shape, the inflated pod, it is a dominant character, and the constricted pod, it is the recessive character. And in the pod color, the green pod color, it is the dominant character, and the yellow one, it is the recessive character. And when you come to the seed shape, the smooth round seed, they are the dominant, and the wrinkled seed, it is the recessive character. And the gray seed coat color, it is the dominant character, and the white seed coat color, it is the recessive character. And the yellow cotyledon color, it is the dominant one, and the green cotyledon color, it is the recessive one. Now let us see the Mendel's second law, that is called as law of segregation. The definition of this law, it is during the formation of gametes, the 2 genes of each character separate, leaving only 1 gene of each character in each gamete. Let us see this definition with an example, that is the monohybrid cross. So already in the first law we have seen what do you mean by monohybrid cross and what do you mean by monohybrid experiment. So let us come straight to this diagrammatic representation. So Mendel crossed again, that is the pure tall plant with a pure dwarf plants, and you can see the term homozygous and here homozygous. So what do you mean by homozygous means? That is for the representing pure tall, he denoted that is the both the gene in the same letter, that is in the dominant T and the dominant T, and recessive T and the recessive T. So the genes, they are in the same term, so it is called as a homozygous condition. And you can already know that is during the formation of the gamete, that is the genes in the diploid condition, and due to the process of the meiosis, they were converted into the haploid condition in the gamete. So in self-pollination, it results in the formation of the tall plant, that is a hybrid plant in the F1 generation. And in this law of segregation, he again crossed the F1 male hybrid plant with the F1 female hybrid plant. So this is the second cross. So here, that is the phenotype of this cross, you can see that is a F1 hybrid tall plant, and he crossed with the F1 hybrid tall plant. And here the genotype you can see that is as it is a hybrid. So he later only he came to know that is a recessive character, it is present but it is not expressing. So that is he denoted as the dominant T and the recessive T, and then dominant T and then recessive T. So he crossed the F1 hybrid tall and with the female F1 hybrid tall plant. And here the gamete, it forms, that is you know already, that is in the somatic cells, they are in the diploid condition, and during the formation of the gamete, even though they are denote the genes of the contrasting character, that is the tall and the dwarf, and during the formation of the gamete, without contaminating each other, they segregate themselves and entering into the each gene in each gamete. So one gene in one gamete, and the dominant gene in one gamete, and the recessive gene in another gamete, and here also in the female one, that is the dominant gene in one gamete and the recessive gene in the second gamete. Now let's see self-pollination of the F1 male and the female hybrid plant with the help of a Punnett square. So this square, it is called as the Punnett square, and these two are the male gamete and these two are the female gamete. You can think for that is in the monohybrid cross, we only got only one type of gamete, but here for the hybrid plant we got two types of gametes. You know, that is in the F1 generation we got the hybrid. It was denoted as dominant T and the recessive T. So it results in the formation of the two gametes. One gene enter into the one gamete, and this gene, recessive gene, enter into the another gamete. So it results in the two gametes. So the same thing happen in the female plant also. So now we cross, that is the male gamete and the female gamete. So it results in dominant T and dominant T. And here it is this one, it is crossed here. So dominant T and the recessive T, and this recessive T, it is crossed again with the male gamete, and here, and so it results in the four types of plants. So here, that is here both they are in the homozygous condition, so it is called as the pure tall. And here one dominant T, that is a one tall gene, and one recessive gene, so it is called as the hybrid tall. And here that is, it is also called as the hybrid tall, and here it is both the recessive gene, so it is called as the pure dwarf. So when you see the result of the F2 generation, you can calculate both the phenotypic ratio and the genotypic ratio. I have already told you, that is what you mean by phenotypic, that is the external appearance of the plant, and here the genotypic means genetic constitution of this phenotype. So you can calculate here how many tall plants are there. 1, 2, 3. So 3 tall plants, and you can calculate that is one dwarf plant. So that the phenotypic ratio, it is 3:1. When you come to the genotypic ratio, that is the homozygous tall means that is the pure tall plant. How many pure tall plant here? Only one. And heterozygous, that is a hybrid tall, it is 2, and then homozygous dwarf, it is 1. So that is the genotypic ratio is 1:2:1. So that is the result of this law, second law, that is the law of segregation. The phenotypic ratio is Mendel got 3 plants, 3 tall plants and 1 dwarf plants, that the ratio, and the genotypic ratio is 1:2:1. That is in the overall, that is the result. That is 25% of the plant. It is more than thousands of the plants Mendel crossed, and so at the last he got the result. That's the 25% of the homozygous tall, and the 50% of the heterozygous tall, and the 25% of the homozygous dwarf plant. So this is the result of the second law, that is the law of segregation. Now let us see Mendel's third law, law of independent assortment. When you see the definition of this law, that is members of different pair of genes segregate independently of one another when gametes are formed. So now let us see the illustration of this definition. So the example for this law of independent assortment, it it is called as the dihybrid cross. So when you see the monohybrid cross, the parents they were differ in only one contrasting character, but in the dihybrid cross, the cross between the parents, that is they differ in the two pairs of contrasting characters. So now let us see the diagrammatic representation of this third law. So Mendel selected that is the two different contrasting characters. So from this you can clear it. What do you mean by dihybrid cross? The first character, it is the seed shape and then cotyledon color. So that is the seed shape of this Pisum sativum. It is has the two contrasting character, that is the round seed, it is the dominant character, and the wrinkled seed, it is the recessive character. And when you see the cotyledon which was present inside the seed, that is the cotyledon, the yellow cotyledon, it is the dominant character, and the green cotyledon, it is the recessive character. Now let us see at this diagrammatic representation. So the phenotype he selected, it is the pure round yellow, and he crossed with the pure wrinkled green seed. So the genotype of this dominant one, it is the round, it was denoted as dominant or, and for the yellow there is the dominant Y and the dominant Y, and the wrinkled seed, that the shape, it is the recessive or, and the green cotyledon, it is the recessive Y and the recessive Y, and they are called as the parent generation. Now when you see the gamete, because as there are the two characters are present, so you can get the two types of the gametes. So in the previous law itself we have seen that is the genes which are present in the gamete, they segregated without contaminating each other. So the gene for the round seed, it is the dominant or enter into the one gamete, and for the yellow cotyledon color, the Y, it enter into the same gamete. And here also recessive R and the recessive Y. So due to the self-pollination, in the F1 generation he got, that is the round yellow seed, and it was called as the dihybrid. And again Mendel that is selected the F1 dihybrid and crossed with the F1 dihybrid, that is the F1 dihybrid round yellow and F1 dihybrid round yellow. So due to the self-pollination, and here that is the genotype of it is called as the that is the round, as it is the hybrid, the both the genes are present, that is the round seed for the gene for the round seed, and the gene for the wrinkled seed, and the gene for the yellow cotyledon, and the gene for the green cotyledon, and he crossed with the female one. So here we can get the four types of the gametes here, because as they are in the dihybrid condition, and you can see that is the gamete for the round and then Y. This is one trait, and this is the another trait, isn't it? So there is a trait for the round seed and the trait for the yellow cotyledon, it enters into the one gamete. And here that is for the dominant R and the recessive Y. So this is the second type of the gamete, that is hypothetically, and this is the third gamete, that is the recessive R and the dominant Y, and the recessive R and the recessive Y. So this is, so we can get the four type of the gametes. You can see here, that is the dominant R and dominant Y, dominant R and then recessive Y, recessive R and then dominant Y, and then recessive R and then recessive Y. So at last we got the four types of the gametes. So you can see that is the self-pollination of these two male gamete and the female gamete with the help of a checkerboard. This is the Punnett which represents the self-pollination of the male gamete and the female gamete. So previously we saw that is we got four types of the male gamete and the female gamete. So now let us cross the male gamete, the female gamete and the male gamete. So when you cross this one, we can get, that is the dominant or dominant Y and dominant Y. So that is dominant or dominant Y and dominant Y. So that is the dominant or, it always denotes the round seed, and then Y it denotes the yellow cotyledon. So this is the round yellow seed. and this is the parent character. And here that is this gamete, it is crossed with this one. So dominant R and then dominant R, and so dominant Y and the recessive. So when you write this genotype, you have to first write the only that is the dominant trait and then only the recessive. So it is round, and the Y it is here, so it is also round yellow. So it is also the parent character, and here that is the dominant R and the recessive R. So we have to write only the dominant trait as the first and the recessive one second one. So dominant Y and then dominant Y. So it is the, as it is the dominant character, so it is always round, and here that is the yellow cotyledon. And here dominant R and then recessive R, dominant Y and then recessive Y. So it is also round yellow. And here when you cross these, you have to cross this gamete with all the four gametes. So here also dominant R, dominant Y and recessive Y. So this one it is also the round yellow. And here dominant R and dominant R and then recessive Y and then recessive Y. So it is the round, and here that is the both the recessive genes are present in the homozygous condition. So when the recessive genes are present in the homozygous condition, it expresses its own character. But in the heterozygous condition, the recessive character, it cannot represent itself. But when it is present in the homozygous, that is in the pair condition, it represents its original character. So it is the recessive Y. It denotes the green cotyledon. And here dominant R, recessive R, and the dominant Y and then recessive Y. So here it is the round, and it is also called the yellow. So it is the parent one. But when you see here, that is a round green, it is a new character and not a parental character. And here that is dominant R, recessive R, and then recessive Y and the recessive Y. So as it is the round, if the that is for the dominant character, single gene is enough to express its character. So it is the round seed, and here that is the green cotyledon. And here that is when you cross these two gametes, dominant R, recessive R, and then dominant Y and the dominant Y. So it is a parental character, round and then yellow. And here that is the dominant R and then recessive R and then dominant Y and the recessive Y. So it is also here that is the both dominant genes are present. So it is also a parental character, that is the round seed and then yellow cotyledon. And here recessive R, and here also recessive R, dominant Y and the dominant Y. Here the recessive gene, it is present in the pair condition. So the recessive gene, it is that is the parental condition. It denotes that is the wrinkled, and here it yellow. So it is also a non-parental character. And here there is a here recessive R and then recessive R and then dominant Y and then recessive Y. So here it is the wrinkled yellow, and it is a parental character. And here that is the dominant, when you cross this gamete with all the four types of the gametes. So dominant R, recessive R, and the dominant Y and the recessive Y. So it is also round yellow. So now here that is this gamete, when you cross with this gamete, you got that is the dominant R and then recessive R, recessive Y and then recessive Y. So it denotes the round green. And here there is both the recessive R and the dominant Y and the recessive Y. So it is called as the wrinkled yellow. And here that is the recessive R and the recessive R, recessive Y and the recessive Y. It is a parental character, that is the wrinkled green. So when you conclude to the dihybrid ratio, That is, we got four characters: round yellow, round green, and then wrinkled yellow, and then wrinkled green. And here there is a round yellow and then wrinkled green. It is the parental character, and we got the two new characters or the non-parental characters, that is the round green and then wrinkled yellow. So it is due to the, as a result of the law of independent assortment, that is the characters, that the genes of the characters, they segregate independently and not contaminated with each other. They freely enter into the gamete and it produces the two new characters. When you come to the ratio, when you calculate this one, that is to the round yellow, how many means? That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6, 7, 8, and then 9. And for the round green, 1, 2, 3, and for the wrinkled yellow, this 3, that is 3, and then wrinkled green, only 1. So the dihybrid ratio is 9 is to 3 is to 3 is to 1. So this is the result of the Mendel's third law, law of independent assortment. Thank you, dear students. Today in this class, we have discussed about the Mendel's three laws. The first law, it is called as the law of dominance, and then second law, it is called as the law of segregation, and then third law, it is called as law of independent assortment. Thank you, dear students. Let us meet in the next class. Until then, bye bye.